What's good, everyone? Welcome to Ice Rink Diaries, your local Iceman here. And today we're going to replace the propane regulator in the Zamboni 500 back there. Got her started up and she's running a little bit lean right now, and I can't really do adjustments on the carb to get it to where it's running where it should be. This is not computer controlled over here. This is it's vacuum controlled, and it has little settings on the carburetor to adjust the air and fuel mixture. So I can't really get it tuned in right. So Zamboni recommends I replace the regulator on it, and I'll go ahead and do that. And I had, like 10 years ago, I tried to rebuild one and didn't have much luck. So I'm going to do a video on that one of these days. I'm going to get me a rebuild kit, and since these last about 5 years before they get gummed up with propane residue, and they need to be rebuilt. And I've just been getting a whole new one, which is probably about $100 more versus getting a rebuild kit. So it's probably a good idea to learn how to rebuild one. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get at it and swap this converter out. Okay, we're going to be replacing the converter on the machine right here, this one right here. This is actually a lockout. You saw in the other Zamboni video for the 546, the lockout is electronic. So in this one right here, it's vacuum controlled. So essentially, again, the lockout, it doesn't allow the liquid propane because it's still a liquid under compression. If there wasn't a way for it to be closed off, it would just flow right out. So as soon as the engine starts or starts cranking, there's a vacuum that opens a flap up and allows propane to flow through into the converter. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to basically take off this rail. We're also going to have to disconnect the two hoses that go to the converter, as well as the hose that leads to the carburetor here. So we're gonna have to reuse all the fittings. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take this rail off right here. And when I'm clamping that, I don't think that's going to do very much, but at least I'm going to try to clamp it up so the coolant doesn't leak out everywhere. Because there she goes. There we go. All right. The next thing to do, let's go ahead and remove the vacuum. Get that thing out of our way. We're not going to have to take it off. Let's just get it out of the way. This is the hose to the carburetor. All right, get some gloves and some paper towels here. This is icky. All right, so let's easel this thing off. All right, let's go ahead and take off the other hose from the coolant side. We'll call it the return. Ooh, not as much, not as much. I don't know if you guys can see that hose there. Got the camera on a tripod right now, so I believe we all have all the parts that we need to remove removed. So let's go ahead and just for visual purposes here, let's go ahead and remove the air filter. All right, there's our converter. It's got everything taken off. We're gonna get out the 4 bolts that are underneath right there. I'm gonna try to give you a good view here. These two sets is for the lockout. These two are for the converter. And like I said, they're 7/16. Let's go ahead and loosen those bolts. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. And that would be tighty. That would be loosey. Let me sneeze my hand. Oh, I lied. We got one more vacuum hose in the back. So, there she is. Okay, we got our two converters here. We got the old one and our new one. So I already took the liberty of breaking loose all the elbows off this one because some of them were pretty tight. So let's go ahead and switch them up. I got some pipe thread dope. Just because it's for the gas, I guess it's the best. I don't know. So this one goes on the top here. This one goes to the propane rail. So leave the orientation. If I got it right, it's supposed to face this way. I wonder if I get one more turn on that. That. So it sits like that, right? Yep. So, all right. Now we got our two water jackets. The old pipe dope off the threads here. So let me squirt some on here. So you may need a new bottle of this stuff. So this one's going to go on this side. And this needs to be oriented down. Let me see if we can get. So I gotta put this thing down. So I want to see if I get one more turn on it. So let's go ahead and stick it right here. Sorry, not too tight in the vise there. No, I think that's good. I think that's good. Certainly don't want to over tighten it. So, all right, got that water jacket or water elbow connection piece. So go ahead and get our second one. Put a little thread sealant on there. This one goes on this side. Let's go ahead and put this one on at the same time. This one I don't think we need any sealant, but I'm going to put some anyway. At that point it's a low pressure. Excuse me. And this one probably should go on first anyway. Yeah, this one probably should go on first anyway. Twist that on. And orientation, I have it written down over here. On the side needs to be facing this way. So it kind of bottoms out right there, so I think that's good. Which leaves this one right here, which this one has to face this way. So this one we may pop in the vise to get the last wee bit. Just a hair bit more. Right down. There you go. All right. Here she is. We got one more thing. Our thread putty on that.
thread sealant. And this one needs to be facing this way. So this one seems to keep going. I think right about there is good. So there we go. New one, old one. Real quickly, just as the converter off the Zamboni 546, very similar, except the connections are a little bit different. So these have little clips that take the elbows off, but exact same thing. The fuel comes in through the top, comes out the side. The only difference is that this leads to a fuel injectors, whereas this one leads to a carburetor. Best not to block the view here for the light. I took the liberty and cleaned off this middle bracket. I also removed the propane lockout and also cleaned underneath the bracket out. This is still loose to allow me to get the rail on easier. First thing I'm going to do is mount the, well, I think to put this tube right here on here would be the first thing to do. To the vacuum. And I think to slide this thing onto the carburetor. Then we'll put the two mounting bolts. Put the back one first was the key. Keep it a little bit loose so it's easier to get this rail on. At this point, I'm just going to take the glove off. So we go ahead and tighten the rail here. The vacuum tube on the lockout there. There you go. Fuel line back on from the converter. Let's go ahead and tighten that down. Let's go ahead and get the coolant line into the converter here. I love these multi-screwdrivers. Just love them. This tube right here. And it's just gonna hook right here. Tighten this screw right here, or hose clamp. I got the Michael Jackson one glove. One left-handed. Okay, got those two tight. Now starting our two bolts, so I got the camera in right position. They are 7/16. Tighten them both at the same time. Sorry for the bang in there. And make sure all four of these are tight. So there we have it. We got the propane converter back on. Again, we got the fuel rail on top. We got our two vacuum hoses and our two coolant hoses for the water jacket. So all that's left right now is to throw the air filter back on here, and we're good to go. Cut. Again, here are the two old converters. This is the one I just replaced, and this is the one after 546, which I think I'll order a rebuild kit just because I think this one, the one that's on the machine now, is a couple years old. So if they only last about 5-6 years before they go bad, I have time to rebuild this one and learn how to rebuild it, and I'll get a video on that for you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. And like the local Iceman says, stay cool.